also
across
Michael
people that don't
Jackson
know
took
it.
the Can You Dig It too.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He did that. I probably got it from this.
Well, he would have.
It's very poppy, and
Yeah.
that's something he would. I mean, I don't want to say. I don't know. He would pay homage to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I know Vincent said it when he was recording the Thriller stuff. There's if you listen to the actual recording stuff, he's talking at one point. He goes, "Can you dig it?"
Man, that would have been cool.
Ah, yes, come in. Our featured presentation is about to start. You have entered into cult cinema with the dastardly evil Cheese Film and my partner in crime, Hecubus. This is the Grindhouse Podcast. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I am your host, Cheese Film, and I'm.
Can you dig it?
Yes. The infamous words of a prophet in the suburbs of New York. If you didn't know, that was a prelude into today's movie.
Not the suburbs.
Well,
This is like the city.
the boroughs. The boroughs is what I meant.
Oh, boroughs. Yeah,
not the
definitely.
suburbs.
You got cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I can dig it.
I can dig it. But I'm joined with Mr. Hecubus and Mr. Randy Official, and today we'll be talking about a little cult movie you might not have heard of called The Warriors. Movie that went under the radar to everybody.
We'll
except
get
for
into
anybody.
that too, because it should not be a cult movie.
You know, I was watching it, and I was like, why is this a cult movie? You know, because it's a good quality movie.
Yeah, it's a good
and
movie.
it's got a lot of stuff going on. It kind of reminded me of After Hours in a way.
Yeah, it's all one night, all in New York City.
Yeah. And kind of like After Hours, it's not a movie that is talked about really at all.
Right.
It's gone under the radar. But yes, of course, we're talking about The Warriors. This was a suggestion, by the way. This is a fan suggestion. So, proving to the audience out there that we do listen to you.
That's right.
We do listen to what you want to listen
selections.
to. I forgot to write down who directed this.
Okay, it's 1979. That's when it came
1979.
out. Walter Hill directed it.
Walter Hill.
And I keep getting him confused with and now I can't remember his name. The guy that did, I thought he was the one that did all those Mad Max movies, but he's not. Let me tell you some of the stuff he did do, though. The Getaway, which we have to do. I know you've never seen it. It's a Sam Peckinpah movie with Steve McQueen, and it's awesome.
Okay.
But he also did 48 Hours
No.
and another 48 Hours. He is the producer on Aliens.
Yes.
Or Alien and Aliens. His Brandywine thing is a lot of Ridley Scott stuff is Brandywine. Brewster's Millions, Extreme Prejudice, Red Heat, all kinds of. This guy is incredibly prolific.
So,
Last Man Standing, which is a cult movie. I don't know if you remember that movie with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It's basically A Fistful of Dollars in the 1920s.
Is it the remake of Yojimbo?
I don't think so.
Because I think
It's A Fistful of Dollars in the 1920s.
I listened to the commentary on this, which was, I'll get this out of the way. It was not my favorite commentary to listen to. I thought this.
Who did it?
Walter Chaw
I
did
don't know
it.
who
He's
that
a
is.
he's a film critic. I guess he wrote an article on this because he loves this movie, and that's really nice. So with a lot of the other commentaries, there'd be commentary, and then you can hear some of the movie, and commentary,
Right.
kind of fades in and out.
I like that.
Non-stop talking, this man. And he would just go off on tangents and be like, oh, and we missed some stuff. So going back on this scene here, and I'm like, well, come on, guy. I'm taking notes here. So unfortunately, I had to turn the commentary off on that towards the end of the movie because I wanted to
Watch the movie.
enjoy the rest of the
Right.
climax because after the baseball Furies show up, I think the movie has a really awesome third act, with the chicks and the
You mean the room with the women in it, the girls?
Yeah,
and then Cochise runs
The
through
all-female mob or gang.
the sirens. Oh man! So there's a reason.
like the sirens.
There's
I
a
think of
reason
that too.
I'm doing it after we just did Jason and the Clash of the Titans is because it's not the Odyssey.
That. No, it's the excuse me. Anabasis is the story by Xenophon, who was a warrior, poet, and it's the whole story of them going. It's like 200 people though, going home from a battle, and I never knew that till right now, and man, that's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
So very big, like I don't want to say broad strokes, but it's in the vein of that.
It is, and you you get the sense of that.
You do.
I always got the sense of that, and I just thought that was cool. I didn't even think it was on purpose, and I didn't think about it twice, really. But that's awesome. It's that.
This is based on a novel, too.
Yeah, by Sol Yurick.
So,
well, the novel is based on Xenophon's thing, and then this is based on the novel.
And I think one of the characters... I didn't write down anybody the characters' names because I couldn't follow who's who.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of main guy, the brute guy.
Swan.
Afro Man.
Swan.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Afro Man is Cochise.
Okay.
Those guys, that guy and the real Italian guy, they were supposed to die. But everybody on the uppers people like Walter Hill and them liked what the actors were doing so much that they let them live.
Kept them.
Yeah. While we're talking about that, might as well. What's his name? Thomas Waits was a guy in it. He thought he was a little bigger of an actor than he actually was. And he was pissed that he had to share a trailer with people and got into altercations with Walter Hill a lot. He played Fox. So they fired him. And that's why you see a guy, it's a stuntman, get thrown onto a subway track because he got fired. But he realizes now that because he didn't like the violence either, that everything Walter did was right. Yeah, and they made up and stuff before he died. So he and the guy who plays our main character, Swan,
Swan's the main character, but not the boss.
Michael Beck.
He becomes the boss
because Homeboy dies.
Yes,
because Fox dies.
Warlord becomes the leader of the warriors.
What are you thinking of? Because
who are you talking about?
Now that we can see your face,
the main guy, like with
the blonde hair.
So I know, I forgot the name of him, but you said it earlier. I know that guy.
Put the picture of the warriors up there. Go ahead. Or the guy on the right. Okay, go ahead and put it on the screen.
Is this make it full screen? Yeah.
That guy on the right is Swan.
All the way to the right.
The guy right next to him is Fox that got fired.
He dies.
Then the next two people are the ones that should have died. Cochise is the black guy.
And he's the leader.
Swan
all
is the
way
leader.
To the right is the leader.
But he wasn't before.
Not at the very, very, very beginning?
Yeah, that was kind of a contention thing too, because the guy who plays Fox, Thomas Waits, thought he was the leader.
Yeah.
And acted that way, and Walter Hill kind of didn't. They were kind of going back and forth because he didn't have good chemistry with the girl, and Swan, that Michael Beck, did. So they went all in with that, and then he ends up getting fired and thrown onto a thing. But that guy is Swan. He's the leader of the warriors pretty much all the time. I love the music in this movie too. And now I just started thinking at the beginning.
This is the Arrow release. It's got a version of it where you can play with just the music.
Huh.
It's nothing but the audio. The audio on this is
on that version, does it have In the City on it too?
I didn't watch that one.
Oh, okay.
It's a bonus feature on here. It says how does it word it? Like soundtrack only or something? I hope it does, because that's it's a perfect song to end it.
Yeah, that's a great song.
And it's cool
there's
that they like Rick and Morty.
A whole different version of that song that he did. I don't know if he did this song first or that song first, but hearing the other one, this is the popular one.
It's the better one.
Yeah. What'd you say about Rick and Morty?
They use that song in Rick and Morty too.
Oh, yeah.
So I was making a joke that the Warriors like Rick and Morty instead of the other way around. But yeah, so I guess we'll open it up with your first impressions. I haven't seen this since, man, I feel like forever.
I think probably the last time I saw it was the last time you saw it.
And I saw it with him.
Well, I take that back. Did you see it with it had comic book stuff in it?
No.
That was the last time I saw it because I bought it on DVDs, the director's cut, and me and your mother don't like that version.
Interesting, because this guy also didn't like it either, and he says,
he didn't really?
yeah, it's too much. Unlike the Watchmen stuff, where you it's kind of add stuff to it because it's in the comic book. The adding of the comic stuff takes away from your putting it together that it's more comic-y.
It does. And it's kind of
It holds your hand too much.
right, condescending almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, that when the last time I saw it was that way, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, that DVD only had that version and I was like, dang.
I don't think this has that version.
I think
Disc
you
one-
have to get that.
Disc 1 is the theatrical cut.
Right.
And it says theatrical cut. Disc 2 is something else, and it's not the director's cut.
Wonder what it is.
I'll tell you.
But Walter Hill, it's the director's cut on purpose. He wanted it to be like a comic book. And
Well,
it's
it
in
says-
that vein.
this says the alternate version from 2005
Well, that's it then.
with archival introduction by Walter Hill, but it doesn't say.
Yeah, I bet it is. The comic book version, the director's cut.
Because why else would it be there?
Actually, my very first impression of this movie was in high school when we were like going to track meets and stuff. This guy I used to sit with sometimes. His name was Bill, and he asked me if I ever saw this movie. I never even heard of it. And then he went through every single thing that happens. Everything, including the end. And I thought, well, I don't know. It sounds okay. I really didn't care. Then when I actually saw it, I'm like, wow, that's a pretty good movie.
I also thought this was a pretty good movie. Ironically, I think this is a movie perfect for the older teenager, early 20-year-old.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like that is your market. The person, because I last night, Joey came over and we watched Fight Club. And I was like, this is a pretty good movie for Joey to be watching right now. He's young enough to where he'll think it's cool.
Influenced.
Well, not influenced, but he'll feel edgy, kind of thing. Like it's a more grown-up movie. It's a David Fincher movie.
Yeah.
It's unlike really anything.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, I think it came out in 2003, 4-ish, I think, because after 9/11.
I don't remember. It is?
Well,
I thought it might
TSA
be the 90s.
is in it.
Listen, the first time I saw this movie, your aunt came over and she's like, you got to watch this.
Fight Club?
And it's in the 90s
Is it
because
in the 90s?
Tom puked on my face.
But Tom wasn't born in the 90s.
No, it wasn't.
So it might have been 2000. It was before we moved. And it was Tommy. I was doing this and he puked on my face.
So after watching Fight Club the night before, watching Warriors the following morning,
it might have been. It was after 2000.
it felt real good to feel like I'm a young rebel.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a good, like if you're watching Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, you watch The Warriors and
Right.
Fight Club, Seven, all those kind of just gritty movies.
Yes, it's very gritty.
Yeah, it's perfect for a young person getting into watching more adult movies. This is the movie like your dad had kind of
Right.
stuff,
People I was watching talk about it said your uncle.
Your uncle.
Your uncle is going to quote this.
Like, and I think it should be kind of not captivated, but like preserved in the film archive
Yeah, it should be.
for that reason.
Yeah, and
because of its cultural significance.
and we talk about time capsule movies, and this one literally is a time capsule of the time, and by that I mean, you see that If you could pull up the poster, Tom, or there's a big group shot. I don't remember if I got that or not. But those people in the audience, the "Can you dig it" scene,
I have this
they're
written down, too.
real gang members.
Yes, they are.
And during the production, they had to do it at night in parts of the city that aren't the best part to be in, at a time when New York City was riddled with
Full
crime.
of crime, yeah.
And like, see, all them people, some of them, those are
It was a
drawing,
painting.
but it's they were real gang members. And
Yeah.
Cyrus was actually a real gang member, the original guy. And he ran lines and everything, and just didn't show up.
Huh.
I think he got stage fright. I'll bet that's what it was. He was afraid to look stupid in front of other gangs.
Yeah,
Which would no actor would feel stupid, but they screwed up. They would just do it again.
right.
But yeah, he got, I think he stepped away, like he didn't show up and nobody could find him. So he didn't do it on purpose.
But he didn't die.
Yeah, no, not
Not
I
yet.
don't think so. Nobody says anything like that. I think he got stage fright.
What about you, Randy? What was your first impression?
Boring.
You don't like
You
the
didn't
I
Warriors?
did not like it.
This movie is nonstop action and
I thought it was
nonstop thrill.
nonstop. Like, all right, what?
Well,
'cause you're
everybody wants
introduced-
to kill him.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like,
Did you watch the beginning of the movie?
yeah.
So
Can
he gets
you
shot.
dig it?
And
He
I
gets
saw
shot.
that- Yes, I saw he
And
gets
then that
shot.
guy-
But like, why would they be like? And then that one crazy guy. Why wouldn't everyone be like, "No, dude, it was definitely this guy."
Well, there's a lot of commotion.
Yeah.
But
They don't
I
know it was him. They just heard the
I would
gunshot.
have typecasted these people because these guys didn't do it. I don't know the Warriors like that. I don't have gang violence with them, but
Well, somebody does come forward eventually and say it wasn't.
till the end. It takes all these gangs to be like,
Well,
what if they didn't do it?
If
Like,
I'm in a
it never
rival gang-
came in their mind of like, nah.
Well, hang on. You know
it doesn't
Cyrus's
matter.
gang? I'm in a rival gang and I saw that guy shoot him, not the Warriors guy. I got to I don't know where he is. You know what I mean? It only takes place in one night.
Yeah.
It is plausible that the guy did eventually say, this is the guy that did it.
I don't know.
And then they got to go all the way to Coney Island.
It seemed
wherever
rash.
Well,
that
they only
every
found
single
out
person-
he did it because they all happened to be at that beach at the same time that he was about to shoot him. And they're like, I killed Cyrus.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
And then everybody's there.
Yeah, and
As
then
he gets the
and
knife in his
and then
arm.
there's 70 of people come in and they're like, "Nah, dog, y'all are good. Get out of here." All right, thanks.
We apologize.
Yeah,
I like that part too. When
I
it
didn't-
just like it took them, however, up to 12 hours to get back there. The sun's coming up, and they're just beat. They did a good
Yeah.
job acting, is my point.
They look
And they're like,
exhausted.
they got to defend their turf. And now somebody's coming and saying, "No, you're okay. I'm in your place and telling you you're okay." And they're just like, "Thanks, all right, bye. I'm going to bed."
Well, they're not gonna, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Also-
We're not here for you, kind of thing.
dude getting hurt that his girlfriend was being all like, "Oh, chicken," like
what?
when the Warriors go through
The real
the
main
orphans
character.
or whatever.
Yeah. And we
Uh,
find Mercy.
Yeah,
Mercy's her
the
name,
lady.
yeah.
the
Her
lady.
name's Mercy. Yeah.
And
What-
she starts
Are you talking about that part right there?
no.
Okay.
When they're like they go in and she starts egging them on to like
Oh yeah.
you guys gotta take your colors off.
Yeah.
Listen, lady. Like I would have been like, no, you realize we like die. Like
Right.
this you go do it.
Yeah.
You go do you're right. Here. Like I would have been mad at her, not them. I would have like
So she's kind of our
she ain't all
main
that
character.
to be like it's
You know,
because she's
name-
the one who
name
goes
5
on.
main characters in
Well-
the story.
So we follow the Warriors,
right.
but the person who goes on the journey
Is the lady
is
yeah.
Mercy.
Also, that was another. Why are you about to get in a gang war over the girl who just was gonna leave? Like, I don't know. She left
territory.
Anyway. She left
Everything's
anyway.
every
Like,
territory.
she was like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna hang out with this guy anyway. I'll hang out with you guys." So at the end of the day, I don't know that part. I was like, "Oh, this seems
Come on.
irrelevant. Like the baseball was goofy. I liked the baseballers though.
Yeah, put that back up there for a second. This scene
The
here,
baseballers, or
no, that one right there, where they're on the subway, and then a bunch of rich people come on that have obviously been to a prom or something, and she feels like self-conscious about her looks because she's got dirt literally on her, and she starts trying to fix her hair and stuff, and then Swan puts her hand down. I saw this in college with a bunch of people. All the girls love that part. They're like, "Oh my god, that's awesome!" And I didn't really think too much of it. And then the first time I watched it with your mother, she's like, "I love that part." I'm like, I get it. Yeah, that part is
you
awesome.
are beautiful.
Yeah, you don't need to be prove yourself to anybody.
Yeah.
Because they could have just stomped on their faces.
Because
they're that kind of guys.
And the director here, he's kind of touted as the man's man director. He makes these awesome
Getaway. Are you kidding me?
Action movies and all that kind of stuff, but he is not afraid to make women powerful.
Right,
women.
sure.
Well, he's the reason that Ripley's a woman. Like, it was his suggestion.
Right. Yeah.
Stuff like that. All the movies he's like, they're not.
Nobody's
damsels.
a damsel in distress.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're very well done.
Right.
And I appreciated that watching this too. That she's not an object. She's not being dragged along. She's a part of it.
She's a character.
And I think it worked really, really.
Yeah, and like
really
I guess
well.
you're right because she's the only one that has any kind of arc. These guys are just going from this part of New York City to that part of New York City,
trying to stay alive.
Right, that's it.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. Everybody thinks that Jack Sparrow is your main character, but it's Will Turner.
Yeah,
Jack's just a side character.
Will's the
one
main
who
guy,
goes on a journey. He's the one who changes at the end.
What Johnny Depp is the Han Solo of it. That's
he
all.
Is. And because he gets a lot of screen time.
Most of it.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And it's Jack Sparrow. But no, I mean it's just a cool little detail.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of commented on this, but I really said this, and he did too. This is kind of the movie, a movie to feel young. Like, I don't know about his young days, but like it harkens you back to when you were a kid, running the streets, staying out late. I never got chased by murderous gangs, but I do agree with that, and that's kind of what I was talking about. Like Joey's the perfect age for that. Your late teens, early 20s, because it does make you feel young at heart, even though the story itself is dark and very dangerous, and there's no violent, right turn. It's all wrong turns. But eventually you get home, and even when you get home, there's still danger.
Yeah.
I think it does really encapsulate what it is to be young.
Any young person. Yeah.
They also use circles a lot. There's a lot of circle imagery and a lot of things moving in a cycle like this. And he pointed out that this is kind of to give you the feel that it doesn't matter. It's just a cycle. We're going to start exactly where we end.
Oh, right.
And we're going to end right where we start. It's an unbreaking cycle.
That's kind of funny, too, because that's what Cyrus wants to stop, is that unbreaking cycle, and start a new one where they're in charge.
Because you open on Coney Island and you got the Ferris wheel, and then you end on Coney Island with the Ferris wheel.
That is a circle itself,
right? So narratively speaking, too, and even with the DJ, it focuses on the tapes behind her before she comes in, just to kind of give you that motion. We're still turning,
right?
In your head.
You know what's funny is that actress didn't know that was the only part of her that was going to be seen was her mouth.
Really?
Yeah. Let me tell you something else that's funny. That's a crime. What she was doing. You can't send coded messages over the air. It's illegal.
It's a different time, baby.
That was way back when they started the FCC. That was like number one.
Wow.
Can't send coded messages, and that's all she does is send coded messages to attack people.
Yeah. She is kind of an antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
in a way, it's because a lot of this stuff, like we pointed out, that it's very Greek. Like she's a soothsayer. Mm-hmm. Like she's the one who
oracle.
goes with the lips, she's the mouth, who knows everything, knows where everybody's gonna be, kind of thing. Everybody goes to her for the information
and gives her the information.
Yeah, and it's all again, it's a cycle, but it's cool that it's not outright said that this has any kind of Greek
none whatsoever
inspiration.
Yeah,
it's just there.
It's like a Greek tragedy. It's not a Greek tragedy.
Well, what's not tragic about
it wouldn't be.
No, I say it's like. Well, it's just not. It's not. Oh, the Romans invade. Like it's not a time period piece.
Oh, right,
no.
But like,
it's an adaptation of something, and it doesn't. It's not.
It's like Romeo and Juliet when they did that.
Yeah, but not on the nose like that. It's not called Romeo and Juliet. It's its own thing, and it's very unique. And I haven't really seen anything like it.
I will say Romeo and Juliet specifically feels like it's trying to be this a little bit.
Probably it is.
Like, at least elementally
DiCaprio
wise. Yeah.
I didn't see it, but
I haven't.
I had to watch it in school.
Everybody watches it in school. I've never seen anybody who watched it on their own.
I watched a Romeo and Juliet in school that was boring and old. It was 20 years old when I saw it.
Ooh, it was black and white then.
No, it was in color, but hey.
So he also points out that we have a heavy world building right in our introduction with all the credits and everything. We see a lot of the city. We see the subway kind of takes us everywhere. We also get introduced to all the gangs. And the gang members of the Warriors are kind of showcased here too. And that's very subtle, very easy to miss.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It's there and it's appreciated.
And it's the originally written and shot, the opening was different, showing them all coming there. And I think the way they did it, they made a better choice. That's awesome. I love the beginning of this movie.
He also
because we're coming into the story too. With all
we are
the
one of the gangs.
Yeah.
He says it's kind of like a Tolkien way to do it, where you, instead of having pages of descriptors, we have all the description we need right here on the screen. And I think that's genius.
Yeah,
really.
That's good. The guy knows how to make movies, man.
He really does.
Good movies.
And he pointed out, so we have the street gangs, and then the unknown gang of the New York Police Department.
Yeah,
in the
sneaking
70s.
up.
Yeah, they are brutal. They are crooked as all get out, and they're with no discrimination against these people.
They're here now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
When I first saw it, I thought the cops shot the guy at the beginning.
You thought that guy was a cop?
I was like, oh, that's
Or the
cool.
cops were pulling in and...
Yeah, and I was like, oh, the cops are going to make them fight each other because if it is 5-1, they ain't got a chance. So make them fight each other. They have to just clean up the mess after that. Like, so it made sense, but it ended up not. Like, I think they could have went that way. I think it could have been cool to go that way.
Hey, make your own movie, Tom. Like that.
You know, but, I wonder if it would have ruined the movie.
It would have been too deep. Like you would have had.
Well, it wouldn't be the same story.
Yeah, it would have been.
The story came from thousands of years ago, literally, and then the guy wrote the book. You know, and they went from the book. They didn't come up with it on their own.
Also, this guy with the headgear,
Cochise,
that guy was the first leader.
You know, you kind of get. I think he used to be the leader. I think they say something like
that's
what you're
I thought
talking
he's
about.
like, no, dude, and then he was.
Well,
the
there's
leader.
a scene where it's like, no, you're the leader now.
Okay, maybe I completely
right in the graveyard.
I missed
when
that
they
part.
escape the first ambush, and they're running out, and they're in that graveyard. When he
right,
tags
that's
the
what I'm
W,
talking about. That's what I'm talking
he's
about.
like, you're in charge now.
Yeah,
he goes from nobody to the guy now.
Okay.
So
I'm not good at paying attention.
no,
that's all right.
But that is mentioned.
No, yeah, because that was the part I was missing. Because I was like, when did? Because I thought he was just like, oh, I'm taking care of the gang. Like while he's gone. Like I don't remember where that guy went. So I was like, did and you just said only one guy died, and I remember that. So I don't.
Well, one guy gets arrested.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
They lose two guys.
Okay.
Yeah. The other guy gets arrested.
So we brought up. Well, I'm bringing up a couple episodes ago. We did a movie called Head.
Yeah.
And Head paved the way for stuff like this, where you get out in the streets, you get out and you film. Like, none of this is shot in a studio. It's all outside.
It's shot on location in New York City.
They had to get real creative, and I caught one. There's lights in the trees. There's lights in the subway
Oh yeah, I never
stations.
even bothered paying attention.
Because you wouldn't. Everything's so perfectly lit. It looks like it's fake.
Yeah.
But no, it's all there. They do light it because
They
it's
have to.
dark and you can't see anything.
It's all shot at night.
Yeah.
Which they in the summertime, which is not as long as they thought it was going to be.
Right.
So they were rushing a lot of stuff.
And there's a part where they're walking right before the guy gets arrested. Actually, up in the trees, a tree's leaves are illuminated way too much for it to be anything other than a light up there.
Right.
And that's the only one I caught. Everything else is perfectly disguised in the sets. It's perfectly disguised to where you wouldn't even know.
Right.
It's really, it works. You are right there with them. You're right there running.
I like how clever ways to get around things.
Yes.
That's a great.
I also think it's kind of cool that like the movie feels, because they're sprinting
Yeah.
the entire time. They're sprinting. And you have these extended chase scenes, and then it's broken up with a little bit of a slower scene to kind of catch your breath before another chase scene takes off. And I think that's pretty cool too.
I do too.
Because it really is just nonstop
It is.
action from start to end. Action. This is a case study of masculinity. Both good and bad are showcased here.
I guess you could say that.
And people look to this as the different types and all that kind of stuff as something to look at, because you've got from somebody who's a little bit more caring and loving all the way down to somebody who's more of an animal and a beast of man. And I think that's kind of interesting that this is the movie that would do that.
Yeah.
Out of all the college age films, which I guess would be like Wolf of Wall Street, the one with the murderer.
Oh yeah, that one movie with the murderer.
No, it's
American Psycho.
Yes, that is a big one. I would say this because I know like 3 people off the top of my head who have this poster in their house.
I do.
4. Now you know 4.
Out of all of those, do you think this holds up to that? Because like,
yeah, absolutely.
The Wolf on Wall Street, great movie. American Psycho, great movie.
No, sir.
I think it's pretty.
I don't like
everyone
it.
else likes it.
Well, no, it's not.
I haven't seen it technically, so
It's not my thing.
okay.
You know.
I didn't care for it, and it wasn't a big hit when it came out, and there was a lot of controversy too about it. Blah blah blah. That's the only reason I watched it.
See,
But this is awesome.
unlike Reservoir Dogs, American Psycho, I don't feel like can hold itself up. Like
I
it's
don't think so either.
boosting itself, but it's just hot air. You know, like
And isn't it a dream or something?
it might be.
Yeah.
It might all be
Come
in
on,
its head,
man.
because the way it ends is he confesses. Well, spoiler alert. He confesses that he murdered Paul,
Uh-huh.
and I forgot who, but the guy's like, "No, you didn't.
Right.
We'll see you Monday." But like, why is he acting that way? Is he
Yeah.
acting that way because
You said American
We
Psycho's
covered
like
it
this?
covering it up? Uh-huh.
American Psycho's like this or Reservoir Dogs?
That's how it ends. American Psycho.
American Psycho.
Oh.
Have
That's
you
cool.
not seen it?
No.
No, he said he didn't see it.
No,
Oh.
yeah, but I'm saying like you know that like if I say college movie,
No, yeah.
you know, yeah.
I get you. That's why I brought up Reservoir Dogs and not The Hateful Eight, because
So this
that's
like
another
this
college
holds up
movie.
with those.
Yeah,
I would.
absolutely.
100%. 100%. I think this, like I was saying, like I watched Fight Club before this, and it was the perfect
Yeah,
experience.
Fight Club is one of those.
Yeah, Fight Club would be one too.
They're just they're gritty movies. You
Yeah.
know, they're edgy, gritty
realistic.
movies. They're realistic, but they're not.
Yeah.
You know, like there's
Yeah, because nobody walks around New York City dressed up with that baseball stuff. And
Yeah,
inspired by Kiss, by the way.
you could tell.
It's Kiss and who else?
Alice Cooper.
No,
Samurai.
maybe, but there's
Huh?
Samurai films.
Oh,
really
Yeah.
there's a. Marilyn Manson was
Well,
like
that's way
one,
later.
but still, this guy looks almost exactly like him.
Like Marilyn Manson?
Yeah.
I know what you're going to.
Well, Marilyn Manson probably saw the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Like this guy.
You got to put it on the screen.
I do. This guy kind of looks like him. The
Which
way
one?
like
The light.
the middle
The
guy.
green one? We can't see your cursor.
Oh. This
point.
guy.
Okay.
Okay.
He kind of looks like him.
I get what you're saying, but
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Big teeth.
messed up looking eyes.
Also, thought the warrior part was like when the orphans happened. I was like, oh, this is gonna happen early, not at the end.
Huh?
The warriors.
Oh.
I thought that part was like way earlier than it actually happened.
it's
I was
the
like,
very end.
whoa.
Yeah,
Because
because it's the most iconic part,
yeah.
and then second is the "Can you dig it?"
The opener. I was gonna say that the opener of this movie was gonna be at sundown. It was gonna be daylight, but they scrapped that idea and only had the daylight at the end, like
Yeah,
a breath of
that's
fresh air.
Good idea. Much better.
We talked a little bit about how the gangs. There's actual gangs in this
Right,
movie.
there are.
To kind of keep them from actually hurting each other in a scene full of chaos.
Yeah,
when,
yeah.
Cyrus gets shot.
I know what
They
you're
got
talking
him
about.
running opposite directions.
Right. Everybody had a different direction they were supposed to run.
Yeah,
That was smart.
it was smart because I mean, like, dude, you don't like him.
Right.
You don't like him at all, and
I
he might be
can't
wearing
back
the other
down.
color. Yeah,
I can't go around.
so they
Yeah.
they took precautions.
They did.
They also had to like pay people.
Mm-hmm.
Like so they
Yeah,
had
protection.
cash, to
go
pay
through
off
their,
certain people. Yeah,
Territory. Also,
Do you think that's part of the budget?
I think it was
No.
factored in. This.
They're like and bribe money.
Embezzle.
well, the producer, or maybe it was Walter Hill, carried cash around with him on purpose to bribe people
Yeah,
all
Walter
the
Hill did.
time.
They
But
got
also,
peed on.
huh?
They got peed on.
I was just going to say that. An executive went down to see how things were going, got peed on by a real gang member, and nobody ever came back. None of those big shots ever came down there to see how they're doing again.
They were.
That's what I was just going to say, too. Yeah. That's insane. And that's why this is a time capsule. All this stuff is real, except for the makeup, ridiculous stuff of New York City in the 1970s.
Yeah.
And it's right on film. They didn't have to embellish it. They probably had cut stuff down a little bit. One scene, they had to change locations because there was a double homicide there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a crazy place. And at
It was the
At the-
70s, man.
the end of the 70s, the end of that crazy stuff. And this movie is a great like testament to that, or example.
To kind of add to the point where they confront the orphans, or the orphans confront them. There's a scene where he reaches down her dress
Yeah.
and rips off part of her dress to do the cocktail.
Yep.
It was shot to avert your expectations because they're gangs. She's a woman.
Right.
He's actively hovering over her and kind of being flirtatious with her, and then
Yeah.
reaching his hand down. But then to save everybody's life
Right.
is the exact opposite of what you would expect a bunch of gang people to do.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty poignant scene for this guy. I also like how the subway seems to be like a character itself.
It is.
Always where you need it to be.
Right.
You know, they never miss the subway. There's never a line. There's never
Unless it's on
anybody
fire.
trying to get to it.
Yeah.
Then they have to leave. I was like, all right, this movie's going to be over. I was like,
They even threw a guy into it. Horrible death.
Yeah,
Horrible way to die. I cannot believe that's something they did.
Well, they didn't have to because that guy played ball. Didn't he get fired? That's the only reason he got thrown on the subway track was because he got fired.
Yeah.
The character, because that's not even the guy.
Right. I like the slow-mo shots in this too. They show up every now and again.
Yeah.
But they're just like proto Zack Snyder. And it's really, I don't know.
It doesn't take you out of it, I don't
it's
think. It's used
perfect.
well, yeah.
Because the movie kind of supposed to feel like a comic book movie. You got a lot of those transitions that like, are like page turns.
Oh, the wipes. Yeah.
Yeah. And the violence is over the top. Like,
even the characters are
really
all
over the top. The character designs are all over the top.
Yeah.
Everything feels like it's ripped right out of a comic book.
Yeah.
I do like how one of the cops, when they're arresting, what's his name there on the park bench?
Yep.
He hits him in the gut with a baseball bat and he starts bleeding from the mouth, which means he's bleeding internally.
Yeah. He's messed up.
Yeah. And it's a bloody, bloody dark movie. And it's lit dark too.
Yeah.
It's something else. It's like mood lighting. It
very
feels
moody.
authentic.
Yeah.
But our main warrior man there, Swan. I almost said Goose. He was in a gang. He was a real life gangster.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
He was
That was
in a
long.
family at 8, 5 siblings and 2 cousins, and thought this was going to be more of a drama kind of movie.
Right.
And it's a
Melodrama.
gangster movie.
Yeah.
Or a
Action
crime movie. And he didn't really like the direction, but he was like, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll make it. Because he was putting a lot of the romance into his character.
That's probably why he has good chemistry with Mercy.
Mercy. And I thought that was pretty cool because,
That is cool.
you know, coming from the actor to have it played that way. And it sells it really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a great movie to watch.
Yes.
Great time to watch
Okay.
it.
So it was a $4 million budget, open to $22 million. It was a
Wow.
hit. It was the #1 movie.
That is a
And there
home
was
run.
another gangster gang movie at the same time, and another movie, I can't remember what it was, that came out, but this is the biggest one. They had to, gang people went to go see it. And there was violence all across the country. There's gang people going to see the Warriors, violence, theater people are stopping, showing it. Then who was it, Universal? I forgot who made this movie. They pulled all the advertising. And then eventually they just pulled it out of theaters because people were going
Causing
to it.
riots.
And if it wasn't, there wasn't violence at a place, there was picketing at it because of the violence of the audience. And excuse me, people are afraid to go see it, so they don't. So they ended up just pulling it out of the theaters. It ended up doing good in the long run because of it was the dawn of VHS, and it was huge on cable.
Home video.
Huge on the guy I said watched it. He saw it on cable or satellite TV. Yeah, home video and cable really made this movie as popular as it is. But it's technically a cult classic just because I don't know why it is. It is a cult. It's considered one.
So
And it's in like the top 10, I think, of the
cult movies
of all time. But it wouldn't have been if people could behave themselves.
I don't think to be a cult classic, you have to be a movie that failed and then got a popularity. I think you can be something that was popular, then wasn't for a while,
Right.
and got that underground
Yeah.
recognition. I think that also qualifies for a cult classic because I would not say War of the Worlds is a cult classic, but if I go on cult cinema, it's probably going to be there.
I was saying back then too that it's forgotten.
Yeah.
And I don't think this movie's really been forgotten. I think it has a smaller audience.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like I was just watching Jon Stewart and he kept saying things from Star Wars out of the blue. And he's like, God, I just love Star Wars. And he meant Star Wars, the first one. And people don't usually do that with this. It's once in a while, like on The Simpsons, Can You Dig It will come out. But it's not as like Star Wars is a cultural phenom. And that's where I'm going with this is more of a cult movie.
Yeah.
Because you will come
so
across
Michael
people
Jackson
who don't know
took
it.
the Can You Dig It too.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He did that. I probably got it from this.
Well, he would have.
It's very poppy and
Yeah.
that's something he would. I mean, I don't want to say. I don't know. He would pay homage to kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I know Vincent said it when he was recording the Thriller stuff. There's if you listen to the actual recording stuff, he's talking at one point. He goes, "Can you dig it?"
Man, that would have been cool.
Yeah,
that should have went on the album.
Oh. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised, Randy, you didn't like it.
I am too.
I don't know. I probably just need to rewatch it. Probably.
What?
I bet if you watched it more and
rewatch.
more, if
Yeah,
you, in a group setting, you'd like it a lot better. You'd end up liking it.
I also watched I watched the movie before it,
Oh, so you're kind of.
and I was double. Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah, you got that fake ADHD. Because like I didn't like Blue Velvet when I first seen it. I have now rewatched it twice, and absolutely love it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what
I
I
can't
mean?
think of an example right off the top of my head, but I know what you're talking about.
So I do think you should give this another shot. Watch it till you like it.
Yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up.
I would too. I would also recommend it really solely on its cultural significance alone.
Sure. Yeah.
Before I even
calling it back to another thing we did. This is very Akira.
Yeah.
Minus all like the psychic stuff. This is very
I
like
100% agree with you. I think
can see that.
You're on track with that.
and for similar to the time period thing that it's almost synonymous with that, I think, of when did Akira come out? 80s?
Yeah, 80s.
Then this would have been
87. I could drive because I drove myself to the theater to watch it.
I got it in here.
What, Akira? Oh, are you mean because Akira's got gangs in it? Because
Yeah,
Akira's
kinda.
a whole different thing.
But like
the motivation
vibe,
of Akira versus this are completely different.
more aesthetically, I guess.
Okay, I
But
can go there with
I
you.
get what you're
Even
saying.
though they're but
Yeah,
like
because it is gritty
slummy,
and dirty
yeah.
cartoon.
And it's
The police / military are another character.
It's not it's not
Happy.
it feels real. It's not it's not fabricated. It's not well no, I can't find it. It's gritty. It feels like somebody went out with their camera and filmed something happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel like a show. What is the word I'm thinking of, man? When it's scripted and
Right.
glamorized.
You said
you get
1,000 words for that picture.
I do see where you're coming from, Randy, because it's
So it might
like
be something I
Akira.
do just have to.
It does have that
Because I didn't love Akira when I first watched it, but
grit in your teeth. You didn't love it when you first watched it?
no.
You over here telling me to watch it?
That's what I said.
It?
That's why. No, I said watch it again because I didn't like it the first time.
Well, like most things, watch it again because you get something out of it on
Watch it before the podcast. Watch the podcast, then watch it again. After
Yeah,
the
you know what?
podcast.
'Cause
That's
that's
how you should
something-
watch the podcast.
Is you watch the movie first? We tried doing that. We tried saying, hey, next week, check out this movie, and then we're going
Right.
to talk about it. It's harder to do it that
Yeah.
way. But that is a great idea. So this week, we're doing The Warriors. Watch The Warriors. Come back and watch this because it's amazing.
Yes.
And enjoy the conversation because there's a lot to talk about. We didn't even talk about everything.
No.
Like the Warriors.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about that.
Come out to
Okay, yeah, that guy, I
play.
can't remember his name. The actor, they just told him, hey, do something to kind of taunt him out.
Yeah,
And he went
that's all
around, found
improvised.
bottles, and went and did that. Warriors. And that part is really iconic
It is.
for, like, culturally iconic. And he does it so good. It, like, go ahead and put it up there, Tom. The makeup on the guy, like when you got people that have red in their eye like that, they look sick.
Yeah.
And he looks sick and tired and like sick all the time and like dirty. He's a junkie or something. It's just they did a really good job on this. It's very believable.
Yeah.
And that guy doing that, I could totally picture that.
And you know that
Because why'd you bring a gun and why did you shoot him? You know why he shot him? Because he's an a-hole. That's why.
yeah.
He's one of them
Because he
chaos
wants the
people.
violence. Yeah.
He didn't want to be the Cyrus person.
No. He just wanted the ensuing chaos that came from it.
chaos. And then the chaos of you know how people will say stuff to people just to watch you two fight?
Yes.
And he's one of them people, assholes. And this is a really good movie.
It is.
It is from start to finish.
A detail about his car, though, that I found out. There's no seats in his car.
Oh, really?
They're on apple crates. And I guess to get that, like because he's perched when he's doing that, you know? So to get that look,
Yeah.
they took the seats out. And it's like, oh, yeah, you know, because that's what kids do. They do stupid stuff to be edgy and all that fun nonsense that those kids do.
Yes. Okay, so now you go.
Yeah, and that did kind of harken me back to why I thought the Odyssey, because like Odysseus, he finally sees it because you're right about to be there. Boom, Poseidon shows up. Boom, that guy shows up. You know, so I was thinking it the whole time, but that was like what really set me on the okay. This is a Greek story. This is very much an epic, and it feels that way too. It does feel big, and you kind of feel a little bit more mature watching it. You know, you feel a little bit grown. You feel like you can smoke a cigarette and wear a jean jacket. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this movie.
I give it a thumbs up.
I do too.
I recommend it.
Randy, if there's anything you could change about the movie, what would you change about it?
I don't know. I don't even know.
You don't even know?
Yeah.
Do you think they should remake this one?
No.
Or should it be...
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Zendaya would be the girl.
Huh?
Zendaya would be the girl.
Yeah, she probably
She's
would
in
be.
everything.
She's in
Chris
everything.
Pratt would be this guy.
He's a little old. But also, right nowadays, like back then, you have the woman that's on the radio breaking the law, giving you all the information and finding them. Now you just, here they are.
It's on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we don't live in that same time
We
anymore.
don't. And like, I don't even know if you can like, I would like to see it translated, but
New
it
York
just
isn't even
wouldn't
the
work.
same. Like,
Yeah,
literally.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't even
you
look
can't
the
even go to
same.
the same place.
Doesn't even look the same.
And yeah, the cops would have them already because there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Would not.
Well, you would have to get creative about it to make it work.
Well, that's all I got today, folks. Tune in next week where we'll be bringing the show home to you. But yes, of course, like, subscribe, share the podcast with all your friends, especially the ones you don't like. Share it with your enemies. Join the cult, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook.
And make a suggestion.
Make a suggestion. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Audacity. We are also on both Amazon Music and Audible. You listen to audiobooks, you can listen to us too. We're right there. Subscribe. Leave us a comment. Leave us what you think about the movie.
Yeah,
just
what'd
let
you
us
think
know
about
what
the
you
movie?
think.
Or any anecdotes, like I just kept saying anecdotes about the first time I saw it, or you and Joey. That stuff's all cool.
Yeah, because
People
it
like
builds
seeing
the
that.
environment. Yeah. So tune in next week. We'll be here, right here in this basement, in an undisclosed bunker, far, far away in Area 51. Of course, we'll always be here for you. I have been Cheese Film,
And I'm Hecubus.
And I'm Randy Official
and this has been the one and only
Grindhouse
Grindhouse
Podcast.
Podcast. Cheese Film out.